Imagine being on the job and getting shot. Or better yet, imagine driving to your job on the bus and then getting shot. Well, that's what happened here in the Frankford neighborhood. Greetings, fellow Earthlings and viewers across the World Wide Web. This is Toon 215. And right now we're in the state of Pennsylvania. We're currently in the city of Philadelphia. Today we're going to be taking a short walk towards where a recent shooting happened here on Frankford Avenue in the Frankford neighborhood here in lower northeast Philadelphia. Frankford is one of the first neighborhoods you see when you start heading to northeast via Kensington Avenue. On our left hand side, you can see the above ground blue line tracks. That's the Septa transportation line. We're about 5 blocks away from where a recent shooting occurred. A PPA officer who was 31 years old was on the job, and he was shot in the, I believe, left ear and right shoulder. He's in critical condition. And this happened not too long after, I believe about a week ago, there was a Septa rider who was on his way to work, and he was using the bus, driving through this very avenue. This is where Kensington Avenue on our left-hand side merges into Frankford Avenue. Right now we're walking northbound on the 4100 block of Frankford Avenue. We have Frankford and Walmrath on our right-hand side. So this gentleman was on his way to work, and I believe it was in the early morning hours, 4 a.m. and he was on the bus, and somebody shot the bus and he got hit in the arm. The bullet went straight through his arm. Yep. So this man was trying to go to work, make a living, and he almost lost his life. I believe the same week there was another bus shooting. I don't think it was in this neighborhood, but make note, last year, a little over probably like a year and a half ago, there was also a Septa bus involved shooting under this very same avenue. I documented it the same week after the shooting happened. A Septa bus was shot while passengers were riding the Septa bus. So we're about 3 or 4 blocks away from our desired destination. We're gonna take a look at the salon he was shot out front of, the PPA officer. If you guys are not familiar with what PPA is, PPA is Philadelphia Parking Authority. Philadelphia Parking Authority is responsible for writing tickets. So they are on the clock from, I believe, Monday through Saturday. I'm uncertain if they work Sundays, but I know they go check the meters, they read the signs, and make sure that you're within means, that you paid your meter, that you're not violating any parking laws, and if you are, they'll write you a ticket. Well, in this case, they don't have any leads. We're approaching Ron and Frankfurt. They don't have any leads, but what they were saying is that they believe it could have stemmed from a parking ticket. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna backtrack everyone who that officer wrote tickets to that day and see if it was any one of those, if they had something to do with it. Now, if that's the case, and it was a disgruntled person who received the ticket, that's literally a paper trail that takes you right to your door. Seriously, it's a paper trail, because they have your license plate, they have your vehicle information. This is Church Septa stop. They have your information, so even though you drove away, you physically got away, they can come towards you and find you, unless you had a stolen vehicle or the tags were fake. But then again, if it was a stolen vehicle and the tags were fake, you wouldn't have cared about the ticket. You understand? So if this was because of a ticket, it shouldn't be long until they figure out who did it. Right now we're at the intersection of Frankford Ave and Church. Frankford Ave and Church. We have a mini mart on our left hand side. On our right hand side, we got a beautiful church. We're capturing footage in 8K resolution, 8K Ultra HD. Make sure to adjust your video settings in your YouTube browser. Click the little gear wheel. It's gonna access a drop-down menu, and then you can watch it as high as 4K. Now, it's shot in 8K, but it's downsized to 4K because YouTube doesn't have an 8K option. However, it will still be very clear. So feel free to adjust your browser settings. Now, Frankford, year after year, comes up on the top 10 list of most dangerous neighborhoods. And if you take into consideration that Kensington, the Kensington hood, one of the 4 Kensingtons, one of the 4 neighborhoods in Philadelphia that carry the name Kensington, if you take into consideration Kensington is only behind us about 5 minutes up the road, behind us, maybe 7 or 8 minutes depending on traffic. We have a Family Dollar, a couple closed down businesses. So this isn't far from the Kensington neighborhood. There's usually a lot of robberies, a lot of shootings, things in that of that caliber in this area. Check out the birds. All right, we're at Frankford and Unity Street. Frankford and Unity. We're walking northbound. Technically, I guess you can say we're walking northeast, but we're traveling north. All right, we're on the 4400 block. So to my knowledge, that salon is on the 4500 block, so we should be approaching it shortly. You have the bus arriving. You see the number 3 bus? You had a couple people waiting for the bus. Now, when I was a kid, I used to walk all the way down from like Lehigh, past that, up here, just to stop by a pet shop. There was a pet shop coming up that I used to love going to when I was a kid. I used to actually have a relationship with the pet shop owner where I used to breed hamsters, gerbils, and mice, and I would bring the owner like litters, and he would buy them off of me. So he would buy them off of me for about $3, $3.50 each. And they would retail sell them anywhere from like $8 to $12, depending on the breed and the type of hamster or rodent it was. So this is the business strip. This is the business avenue for the locals around here. We have Mark's Church on our left-hand side, St. Mark's. St. Mark's looks like they are providing some sort of social service. Frankford Hardware, Fine Garden, Liquidation Business, Education Nation, Kim Top Hair Salon. They still got $10 cuts. I don't know how they manage. People charging anywhere from $50 to I've seen as high as $200-$300 a haircut. Yeah, that's incredible. For $300, I'll buy the machines and cut my hair for the rest of my life. All right, we're on Sellers and Frankford. Sellers and Frankford. Now, I've been told from people who live in this area that shooting goes off throughout all hours of the night. They hear gunshots. Now, everybody has their own perception of the neighborhood. This used to be a prominent area back in the early 1900s. But as the demographics changed, the crime climbed and the neighborhood went downhill. All right, we hear some sort of Rasta music. Some type of Jamaican music. We're passing Kinsey Street. On our right-hand side, we have more hair salons. We even have a stove and microwave place that sells new and used microwaves and stoves. This is the place that's playing the music right here. They have a whole Bluetooth speaker outside. They have a whole Bluetooth speaker. Wow. Bumping the music under the avenue. Okay, so I believe we are now approaching the 4500 block. No, we're actually on the 4500 block. So with that being said, it should be around here. Okay, we're gonna walk up one block and then we'll cross the street. The salon has a pink sign, so I don't know if I already walked by it, but this is where it happened at. And not far from here is where the Septa buses keep getting shot up at. Now, I don't know how you will feel about riding public transportation after that, knowing that there's a potential for you to lose your life or become injured. And this man was also shot the day after Thanksgiving. So imagine how his holidays are going. Okay, Kramer's Uniform School. So it's definitely behind us, but we're gonna cross the street and just walk the opposite side back, because the shooting happened on the 4500 block in front of a hair salon. Health fair. It's a lot of these old businesses too. They've been here for quite some time, and they provide like little essentials, like general miscellaneous store. All right, I think we're gonna make a cross here. We're gonna cross right here and then just walk back. Okay. We're now approaching Frankford. We're gonna cross Frankford and then we're gonna head southbound. Now, I have documented this neighborhood over a dozen times, so if you would like to see more of this neighborhood and what this neighborhood looks like, feel free to explore my channel. I've did walking tours in this neighborhood and driving tours. When I'm driving, I'm able to cover more square miles within the same amount of time. We have the Free Library of Frankfurt right there. We walked by it earlier. Frankfurt Library. You have the steps to come off of the train. You see the steps right there? Oh snap, look at all that graffiti in there. That's cool. That was pretty neat. Past the Metro by T-Mobile store. Yo, ain't it crazy how... Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Wow, I want to give a big thank you to that female that I just walked by. She recognized me. She asked me if my name was Toon because she watches the content. And I want to say thank you very much, ma'am. I appreciate your support, you and your husband's support. Thank you for making it known that you support this channel, and I truly appreciate that. It's always awesome when somebody not only notices me, but they acknowledge that they support the channel. It humbles me and it makes me appreciative. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, we did pass the salon. Hold on, did we? Cause it had a pink awning. It had a pink awning. All right, here we go again. On the 4500 block. Oh, right there. Philly Tech Nail Spa. I thought it had a pink awning. I don't know where I got pink awning from. So we did cross it. So he got shot right here. Right there. Ain't that crazy? Because right under here, they're really strict with tickets, guys. They're really strict with tickets under the avenue. And then I guess that brings another thing to the forefront of the conversation. I know a lot of people feel that PPA employees can be quite rude, can be unforgiving. A lot of them can be arrogant, and sometimes they show no mercy to an individual. So there were people who did not feel no type of way about the shooting. There were people who expressed their opinions saying that it was about time that PPA got back what they deserved. But then there's also other people who say, you know, he's still a human being. You know, he was doing his job. Nobody deserves to be shot. So what do you guys think about that? I do know from my personal experience, PPA employees can be relentless. Some of them can be sneaky. What do I mean by sneaky? All right, let me give you an example. One time, I was given, or they were about to start the process of giving me a ticket, right? Now, I called them right when I came out of the jewelry store, and I said, excuse me, sir, can you not give me that ticket? Because I was trying to go inside and grab some jewelry for my wife. Please, sir, don't give me a ticket. So that gentleman was nice enough to say, okay, I started the process, but I'm gonna need you to sign this little card. It's like a little card saying that they're gonna retract it. So, excellent. So I signed that little card, and he retracted the ticket, which was awesome. Look at, it's a lot. He retracted the ticket, which was awesome. But fast forward 8-9 months later, there was a whole nother situation where I was on like 2nd and Arch around Old City, Philadelphia, and I had ran into a hardware store that there was no parking whatsoever out front of the hardware store. So I had parked my vehicle in a parking spot. It just was like a temporary no parking zone. So I parked there, I came out. The guy was starting to write the ticket, and I asked him, I said, sir, can you please retract the ticket? And he tried to tell me that there's no way to retract it. Like, he basically lied to me when I know several months before I was able to get one retracted. So long story short, after moving 2 or 3 times and him making it seem like he wasn't going to give me a ticket, he ended up submitting the ticket and not giving me the actual hard copy. I found out months later when I got a late fee for not paying it, but it's because I never actually received the ticket itself, so that's why I never paid it. He basically sneaked me and still gave me the ticket. I received the late fee, and I still had to pay the ticket, and it was months after. So that's my personal experience on how sometimes they can be sneaky. I don't know what's your personal experience. I know there was even a segment here in Philadelphia that was on A&E. It was called Philadelphia Parking Wars. If you guys remember it, it was on A&E, the television network. You can watch reruns of it on YouTube and probably on, like, I don't know, other networks. But it was shot throughout Philadelphia, including this very avenue. So you can watch the Philadelphia Parking Wars show and see that they were giving tickets under this very avenue, and you would see people like argue. Some people were okay with the tickets. Some people were really argumentative. And you got to keep in mind, this is a neighborhood that is still living impoverished. Like most of Philadelphia, there's a lot of low-income neighborhoods where when you hit somebody with a $50, $60 ticket, especially during the holidays, it hurts them. Not only hurts their pockets, but when you're barely making money, you know, it causes frustration. So I don't know what the situation is. I'm not siding with either party, but I am just making it known that this is what happened under here. It's a sad situation. Hopefully he's able to overcome the wounds. The craziest thing is that, just imagine after that happening on the job, how would you feel going back to work the next day? Would you want to go back to work? Or you think he's going to quit? You know what I mean? Because you got shot on the job. Will he receive some type of like pension? Will he receive, and again, he's a PPA, Philadelphia Parking Authority officer. So I'm sure the penalties of shooting him are going to be a lot more harsh than if the person would have just shot a regular person. They said it was 2 individuals. Now, mind you, this avenue, all up and down the avenue, has plenty and plenty of cameras. So some camera, I don't know where they entered from or where they exited, but one of the cameras had to catch him, guaranteed. All right, we're approaching church. On our left-hand side, we got the Presbyterian Church of Frankford. This is the one we walked by earlier. Now, my mom used to live in this neighborhood too. She used to live at the end of this road. Church turns into Adams. She used to live right over there on Adams and Wingahaken. You got the police cameras right here. Look at. You see those? So there's plenty of cameras in the area, plenty of cameras in the neighborhood. Look, and that's probably the Septa bus, the route that got shot at. So, you know, you will be riding that bus to go to work and then probably falling asleep on the bus or something, and then pow, 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 you get shot. Oh, wow, look at this bird. This bird's so chunky. He looks like he's injured. He looked like he could probably be injured. He was like a little chubby bird. There was a guy in my neighborhood who he used to catch those pigeons, and what he would do is he would put them in his yard in bird caging. He would feed them clean food for a few months, and then he would eat them. Yes, he would eat the pigeons that he would catch from the city, and he would eat them, but he would clean them up from what he would call clean them up a couple months. They told me that when you eat that soup that he made with it, it makes you sweat. That's what they told me. I've never tried it, nor do I wish to try it. But how does that sound? They call them rats with wings. They call them rats with wings because I don't think they're too sanitary, you know? Like, actually, my mom was at the end of this block. You walk down that block over there, and then it turns to Adams. My bad, I was 1 block off. But right here, if you make a right-hand turn, that's what we walked by in the beginning. You remember that park over there? That was Walmrath Park. That's what you see when you enter the Frankford neighborhood. If you walk down that avenue in about a dozen blocks or in 5 or so minutes, depending on how fast you travel. If you're going in a car, you're walking. You'll be in Kensington, and you'll be where the opioid crisis is taking place. The open air drug market is right down that road. So that's the correlation between both neighborhoods. This is something that just happened. It's relevant. I wanted to touch base on it because the shootings are getting more and more brazen, more and more out of hand. About 2 weeks ago, a Philadelphia sanitation worker who I believe was 37 years old was gunned down on the job. He was part of the trash department, running his routes, and in the Northeast, which is a better neighborhood, it's not the worst, but it's a better area, somebody walked up to him while he was in the passenger of the trash truck, and they gunned him down. And I don't know if that was pre-existing beef or what the case was there, but right now it's pretty much like you're not safe at all. And I was discussing this the other day. I was saying how back in the day, the killers, the gangsters, the goons, the shooters, they had some sort of moral code. You don't shoot old people. You don't shoot children. You don't shoot women. Most of the time, they just went after other goons. You know, goons versus goons. Nowadays, they're targeting, there's no limit. Children are getting shot. Babies are getting shot. Seniors are getting shot. Women are getting shot. Every and anybody is getting shot. And that's a shame. There's no discretion. There's no discretion. There's no value for life. This is that park, Walmrath Park. Not too long ago, in the Temple University college campus, I did a walking tour through Temple University. I hope you guys remember that, right? They just recently, about a week ago, broke into one of the dorms while they were all sleeping and robbed several students in their sleep. Like, they got them all up, they put them on their knees, they held them at gunpoint and robbed them all. On campus, in their dorm, in one of their college apartments. Just imagine.